Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Rajya Sabha Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari moves resolution on the 75th year of the Quit India movement. Members in the upper house rededicate themselves to building a self-reliant, inclusive, secular and democratic India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses Lok Sabha, urges citizens to create a new India by 2022 that is free from poverty, corruption, terrorism, casteism and communalism. With a message of silent protest in Mumbai, Maratha community makes itself heard on the demand for reservations. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis says his government has told Bombay High Court that it's in favour of extending reservation. And after launching a series of missile tests, North Korea now threatens a missile strike on the US Pacific territory of Guam. Warning follows US President Donald Trump's remarks that the US will meet any aggression with fire and fury. Well, Rajya Sabha members on Wednesday unanimously resolved to rededicate themselves for building a self-reliant, inclusive, secular and democratic India on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of Quit India movement. The House also recalled the sacrifices made by numerous Indians who defied the brutal repression of British forces and shook the foundation of British rule. Here's a report.
Rajya Sabha Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari moved a resolution on 75 years of the Quit India movement in the House on Wednesday. Members pledged to uphold and safeguard the values of an ideal India.
This House recalls that 75 years ago, Mahatma Gandhi called for the British to quit India and gave the clarion call, "Do or die," to the Indian people to end the British rule. Observes on the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement that it is important to remember the heroic struggle of the Indian people, students, peasants, women, workers and government officials who defied the brutal repression of the British Raj to launch massed satyagraha that shook the very foundations of the British rule. Acknowledges that this is also an occasion to recall with gratitude the sacrifices of millions of our people and salute the memory of thousands of Indians who gave their lives for the freedom of India. And on this day, solemnly takes a pledge to uphold and safeguard the values and ideals of the freedom movement and rededicate ourselves to build an India that is strong, self-reliant, inclusive, secular and democratic.
The Quit India movement was launched at the Bombay session of the All India Congress Committee by Mahatma Gandhi on the 8th of August 1942 during the Second World War. It demanded an end to British rule in India. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the 0 hour and question hour were suspended in Rajya Sabha on Wednesday to hold a special discussion to mark the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement. Members recalled the events of 1942, hailing the leaders who led the movement. Tributes were also paid to the heroes of the struggle who made the supreme sacrifice for the country.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley initiated a special debate in Rajya Sabha on Wednesday, marking the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1942. Jaitley said that India has faced many challenges over decades, but with each challenge, the country has emerged stronger. He called on citizens to commit to make India a strong, just and economically progressive country, also stressing on the need to fight the global menace of terrorism.
इस 75 साल की अवधि काल में हमने देखा कि विश्व में कई ऐसे देश थे जहां विभिन्न प्रकार के राजनीतिक संकट आए। चुनौतियां हमारे देश के सामने भी आई, लेकिन आज गर्व के साथ हम ये कह सकते हैं कि हर चुनौती के साथ ये देश और मजबूत होता गया। आज का ये दिन इतिहास का एक प्रतिनिधि है और इसलिए हम सब इस देश को मजबूत, न्याय संगत और एक प्रगतिशील आर्थिक दृष्टि से बनाएं, इसके लिए आज प्रण लेने का एक समय है। मैं आपका, माननीय सभापति जी का और सभी सदस्यों का आभारी हूं कि सबने आज सहमति व्यक्त की कि इस दिन हम प्रस्तावना करें कि देश को इस दिशा के अंदर लेकर जाएं। मैं स्वयं को भी इस भावना के साथ पूर्ण रूप से जोड़ता हूं।
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad recalled the events related to the Quit India movement, mentioning how Hindu-Muslim unity made the movement successful.
क्योंकि एक सबसे बड़ी बात क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट की हुई थी कि कोई दंगा, क्रिमिनल दंगा नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि महात्मा गांधी और पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू दोनों ने 8 अगस्त को अपने भाषणों में कहा था कि एक हिंदू और मुसलमान मिलके रहेंगे तो ये हम आजादी हासिल करके रहेंगे। और मैं बधाई देता हूं उस वक्त के करोड़ों हिंदू और मुसलमानों ने कि इस पूरे संघर्ष में 3 साल के बाद छोड़ा गया उनको। 1945 तक ये लड़ाई लड़ी गई। कोई हिंदू मुसलमान दंगा, हजारों लोग मारे गए, लाखों लोग जेल में गए, लेकिन एक जगह भी हिंदू और मुसलमान दंगा नहीं।
Samajwadi Party member Ram Gopal Yadav spoke about the contribution of socialist leaders like Ram Manohar Lohia and Jai Prakash Narayan, while JDU's Sharad Yadav stressed on the need to learn from history.
जिनसे हमको सबक लेना चाहिए था और उस इतिहास को हमें वर्तमान से लेके आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी को भी याद रखने के लिए कायम रखना चाहिए। इतिहास को बदलने की, इतिहास को भुलाने की, नई पीढ़ी उसको जान न सके, इस तरह की अगर बात होगी तो हमारा जो शानदार अतीत रहा है उसका कोई फिर आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए मतलब नहीं रह जाएगा।
इतिहास की सच्चाई आने वाली राह की सच्चाई होती है। इतिहास की गवाही बुनियाद होती है और उस बुनियाद को एक ईंट भी इधर से उधर गाड़ देंगे, आप लगा देंगे तो फिर आगे आने वाली इमारत जो खड़ी है वो गिर के हरभरा के गिर जाएगी।
CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri said that the neoliberal economic policies that are impoverishing people should quit India.
Please.
If there's anything
continue.
that must quit India today on its 75th anniversary, it is these neoliberal economic policies that are impoverishing the mass of my people. It is this communalism that is dividing my country, and it is disuniting our people in the struggle to create a better India.
Okay.
NCP's Majid Memon said the day must be celebrated as a national festival just like Independence Day.
हमें चाहिए कि आवास की व्यवस्था करें, हमें चाहिए कि हम मुलाजमत की व्यवस्था करें, हमें चाहिए कि गरीब और अमीर के फासलों को कम करें, हमें चाहिए कि हम अत्याचार मिटाएं, हमें चाहिए कि हम हेट्रेड को मिटाएं। ये नफरत के बड़े बड़े पहाड़ खड़े किए जा रहे हैं, आपस में लोगों को बांटने की कोशिश की। ये कैसा फ्रीडम है? 75 वर्ष के बाद हमने क्या आज़ादी प्राप्त की है?
Members of several other parties also articulated their views on the movement and the need to uphold the constitutional values.
On the eve of 75th year of Quit India movement, we dedicate ourselves to rebuild this great secular, democratic, sovereign, socialist country that is India.
ये सारे हिंदुस्तान की जनता की एक ऐतिहासिक योगदान था, जिसमें 10,000 से अधिक लोगों को गोली से उड़ा दिया गया था, लाखों लोगों को जेल भेज दिया गया था और इस तरह हिंदुस्तान आजाद हुआ।
हमें अगर चाहिए, किसी से मुक्ति चाहिए तो भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत हमको चाहिए, सांप्रदायिक मुक्त भारत हमें चाहिए, भेदभाव मुक्त भारत हमें चाहिए।
जो सामंतवादी व्यवस्था है, गैर बराबरी की जो व्यवस्था है, अभी उससे आज़ादी नहीं मिली है। उस आज़ादी के लिए अभी हमें संघर्ष करना है। आज भी करोड़ों लोग गैर बराबरी की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं। सामंतवादी व्यवस्था के तहत आज करोड़ों दलित शोषित समाज के लोग स्वतंत्र नहीं हैं।
The only real prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear. Aung San Suu Kyi said this, and if our women, if our people, if our Dalits, if the underprivileged and the backward communities and the minorities are not freed from fear of the future, then there is nothing to feel proud about.
इस आंदोलन में अहिंसा ने काम किया है, लेकिन इस देश में ऐसे बहुत से क्रांतिकारी थे जिसने बम बनाए, जिसने ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट पर बम फेंके हैं, जिसने बंदूकें उठाई है। हम उनको भी याद करना चाहिए, इसीलिए ब्रिटिशों के मन में दहशत फैल गई थी।
I feel we should all reflect speeches we can make, but collectively today we should not indulge in any blame game, but reflect how do we achieve their principles, their objectives, and what that they fought for.
Communists did play a glorious role, heroic role in the struggle for independence. M. Singaravelu, who hailed from a fisherman community, who was considered to be the first communist in South India, who addressed the Gaya session of the AICC, and he addressed the delegates as comrades. It is not that communists only gave Purna Swarajya as slogan. They also address the congressmen as comrades, and we all should fight for the independence and upliftment of the poor people in the country.
The House also observed violence in the memory of the martyrs. With Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, to mark the anniversary, Lok Sabha unanimously passed a resolution pledging to work tirelessly in the next 5 years to build a nation as envisioned by Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Congress President Sonia Gandhi were among those who shared their views.
On the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Lok Sabha on Wednesday. Terming poverty, lack of education and malnutrition as the greatest challenges, Prime Minister Modi called for special initiatives to end such ills in the next 5 years.
हमारे भी लालन पालन विचारधारा अलग अलग रही होगी, लेकिन ये समय की मांग है कि हम कुछ बिंदुओं से देश को मुक्त कराने के लिए संकल्प का अवसर लेकर के चले, चाहे गरीबी हो, भूखमरी हो, अशिक्षा हो, अंधश्रद्धा हो.
The Prime Minister's speech also focused on corruption that he said has adversely impacted development.
करो या मरो, उस समय का सूत्र था करेंगे या मरेंगे. आज 2017 में 2022 को भारत कैसा हो इस संकल्प लेकर के अगर चलना है, तो हम लोगों को भी हम सब मिलकर के देश से भ्रष्टाचार दूर करेंगे और करके रहेंगे. हम सभी मिलकर गरीबों को उनका अधिकार दिलाएंगे और दिलाकर रहेंगे.
Congress President Sonia Gandhi also spoke on the occasion. Taking a veiled jibe at the RSS, she said some organizations had opposed the Quit India movement and played no role in the freedom movement. Without taking names, Sonia Gandhi said the politics of division and hate in the country was endangering the plural and egalitarian values enshrined in the Constitution.
ऐसा लगता है कि सेक्युलर, लोकतांत्रिक और उदारवादी मूल्य खतरे में पड़ते जा रहे हैं. पब्लिक स्पेस में असहमति, बहस और विचारों की विभिन्नता की गुंजाइश कम होती जा रही है.
Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan and other members also spoke about the need to start an initiative to unite the people of the country, as was done during the Quit India movement.
अब हमें भारत जोड़ो आंदोलन की जरूरत है. एक ऐसा आंदोलन जो कश्मीर से लेकर कन्याकुमारी तक देश के सभी हिस्सों में चलाया जाए ताकि हम एक सबल और संगठित भारत का निर्माण कर सकें।
70 years after independence, what are going on? Is there any safety for the woman? Is there any safety for... No, madam, I don't want to say beyond one word how the farmers are committing suicide.
Let us together pledge towards a caste-ism from India. It's excellent. At the same time, I want to add two things, madam. Let us go together, pledge to see that all our languages of this country called national language, not regional languages.
If he truly wants all evils to quit India by 2022, including communalism in the pejorative sense of the word, we hope that he will unambiguously condemn and take stronger action against those who are spreading the poison of hatred.
There's a slogan of the digital India. I fully agree, but agriculture is the backbone of our country. But the backbone is now, madam, broken. We see that thousands of farmers coming in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in other places. It is not a political struggle. It is a struggle for the survival.
On the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement, both the Congress and the BJP paid homage to the watershed moment. While the Congress Working Committee passed a resolution reiterating the importance of the movement, the BJP's youth wing started a Bharat Jodo Abhiyan to mark the occasion. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, in other news, now former Union Minister and Member of Parliament from Ajmer, Sanwarlal Jat, passed away this morning in Delhi. Jat was undergoing treatment at the AIIMS hospital. Jat had fainted during a meeting of Rajasthan BJP MLAs and MPs with Party Chief Amit Shah in Jaipur on July 22nd. He was rushed to Savai Man Singh Hospital in Jaipur and later shifted to AIIMS in Delhi, where he breathed his last. Jat was elected to Rajasthan Assembly 5 times between 1990 and May 2014. He had served as Minister of State for Water Resources in the Narendra Modi government. The Lok Sabha paid glowing tributes to the deceased. The members stood in silence for a minute as a mark of respect to the departed soul. Prime Minister Modi also expressed shock over his demise.
Sri Sanwarlal Jat 9 अगस्त 2017 को उनका 62 वर्ष की आयु में दिल्ली में निधन हुआ। हम अपने साथी के निधन पर गहन शोक व्यक्त करते हैं और मुझे विश्वास है कि शोक संतप्त परिवार को सांत्वना देने में सभा मेरा साथ देगी।
The Maratha community in Mumbai has intensified its agitation for reservation in government jobs and educational institutions. Lakhs of people from across Maharashtra converged in Mumbai to join the massive protest march that threw Mumbai's traffic and railway network into disarray. Here's a report.
Mumbai turns into a sea of saffron with lakhs of Marathas gathering in the city to demand reservation in government jobs and educational institutions. Wearing saffron caps and carrying flags, protesters gathered from all parts of Maharashtra and walked down Mumbai's busy JJ flyover, which was closed for traffic, and marched towards the protest venue, Azad Maidan. Amid tight security, the Maratha Kranti Morcha began its silent march on Wednesday morning from the Jijamata Udyan in Baikula, where the protesters tore off banners put up by Shiv Sena saying they do not want political interference.
रिजर्वेशन तो मिलना ही चाहिए क्योंकि इतना भीड़ अभी आ रही है मुंबई में। पूरे महाराष्ट्र से मराठा समाज के बांधव यहाँ पर आए हैं।
आता 300-350 वर्षानंतर एवढ्या मोठ्या प्रमाणात आपला मराठा समाज एकवटला आहे, तर याच्या बाबतीत मुख्यमंत्र्यांनी दखल ताबडतोब घ्यायला पाहिजे, कारण म्हणजे अजूनही त्यांच्याकडून काही प्रतिक्रिया आलेली नाहीये आणि आता जर आमचं त्यांनी घेतला नाही दखल तर आमचं याच्यापुढे उग्र आंदोलन चालू करू आणि महिला आम्ही सगळे आमरण उपोषणाला बसू.
The massive protest disrupted traffic and halted Mumbai's railway network as 10,000 police personnel stayed on guard. Over 400 schools in the affected areas were shut as a precautionary measure. Mumbai's famous dabbawalas too joined the march, suspending their operations to deliver lunches to hundreds of offices. Many political parties have thrown their weight behind the Maratha community, including BJP allies Shiv Sena and RPIA and the Congress and NCP.
नंतरच्या काळामध्ये आम्ही आदरणीय राणे साहेबांच्या अध्यक्षतेखाली एक समितीची स्थापना केलेली. त्या समितीच्या अहवालानुसार मराठ्यांना आरक्षण मिळालं पाहिजे हा मुद्दा आम्ही मांडला, त्यांना आरक्षण दिलं. दुर्दैवाने आमच्या नंतर आलेल्या शिवसेना बीजेपी सरकारने ज्या पद्धतीने कोर्टामध्ये
पूरी तरह से सरकार को लेके नाराजगी है. जो सरकार ने वादे किए पिछले 3 साल में उसे वो पूरा नहीं कर रहे हैं. सरकार उनकी मांगों को दरकिनार कर रही है, इसलिए आज इतना विशाल मोर्चा मुंबई शहर में निकला है.
The silent march was the concluding protest of a series of 57 marches organized by the state's Maratha community to press for its demands. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Dalai Lama has said that the Sikkim-Doklam standoff between India and China is not very serious, as India and China have to live side by side. Asserting that any problem has to be resolved through talks, the 81-year-old Tibetan spiritual leader said that the theme of the 21st century should be dialogue. Speaking at an event in New Delhi, Dalai Lama also invoked the Hindi-Chini Bhai Bhai catchphrase that defined the India-China relations in the 1950s.
I don't think this is very serious. I don't think. Look, 62 Chinese forces reach to Bomdila and beyond, but eventually withdraw. So nobody, I mean both sides, dare to carry big war. I don't think.
Well, the war of words between North Korea and the US took a worrying turn on Wednesday when Pyongyang threatened to launch a missile strike on the US Pacific territory of Guam. This came just hours after US President Donald Trump told the North that any threat to the US would be met with fire and fury. Here are the details.
Any plans to execute the preventive war devised by the US would be met with an all-out war, wiping out the strongholds of enemies, including the US mainland. That's a KRT newsreader quoting the Korean People's Party spokesperson. The party claims that Pyongyang was carefully examining a plan to strike Guam with a medium to long-range strategic ballistic rocket, Hwasong-12, to contain the US's major military bases on the Pacific territory, including the Andersen Air Force Base. It was a series of events on Tuesday that led to the North's sharp rise in rhetoric. First, a report in the Washington Post citing US intelligence officials suggested North Korea is developing nuclear weapons capable of hitting the US at a much faster rate than expected. Then, a Japanese government defense white paper also said the weapons program had advanced considerably and that North Korea possibly now had nuclear weapons. In response to that, US President Trump warned North Korea to stop threatening the US.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
Meanwhile, the governor of Guam pacified the people of the island and said that it was prepared for any eventuality.
I'm working with Homeland Security, the Rear Admiral, and the United States to ensure our safety. And I want to reassure the people of Guam that currently there is no threat to our island or the Marianas.
Also watching developments closely is South Korea. The government admitted that the North's latest military threat wasn't good for the relationship of the two Koreas.
우리 군 당국은 여러 가지 상황에 대비해서 만반의 대비 태세를 갖추고 있다는 말씀을 드리고요. 그다음에 지금은 안보리 제재가 충실히 이행되어야 하는 상황이고요.
Pyongyang, which has tested nuclear devices 5 times, launched 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles in July, claiming it now had the ability to hit the mainland US. On Tuesday, media reports in the US claimed the North had achieved its goal in making a nuclear warhead small enough to fit inside its missiles. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here's a roundup of the other international news and global buzz. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck a remote mountainous part of China's southwestern province of Sichuan. According to reports, 19 people were killed, including 6 tourists, and about 247 people were injured. A separate quake of magnitude 6.6 also hit a remote part of China's far northwestern region of Xinjiang, in which 32 people were injured. 45,000 tourists had been evacuated from the quake zones, with just 1,000 more still waiting to leave. Pakistan's ousted Premier Nawaz Sharif went on a journey to Lahore from Islamabad via the famous Grand Trunk Road to show his popularity among the people despite security concerns following a bomb blast in the Punjab province capital. Sharif had held a meeting with Prime Minister Shahid Khan Abbasi, the new cabinet ministers and senior party leaders before starting the 370-kilometer long journey. A car rammed into a group of soldiers in the Parisian suburb, injuring 6 of them before speeding off. Officials said that the BMW car was parked in an alley before it accelerated onto the soldiers as they left their barracks to go on patrol duty. According to reports, 2 of the 6 soldiers were seriously injured. The search for the driver and the vehicle is underway. Hundreds participated in a memorial ceremony in Japan's Nagasaki commemorating the day when the US dropped an atomic bomb on the city 72 years ago. More than 150,000 people died in that horrific incident. The ceremony was held at the Nagasaki Peace Park and was attended by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, local residents and relatives of the victims. In Syria, reports claim at least 30 civilians were killed in US-led airstrikes on the Islamic State positions in Raqqa city. 9 women and 14 children were among those killed. The attack is the latest in a series of airstrikes carried out by the US-led coalition. The Bashar al-Assad-led Syrian government has urged the UN to dissolve the US coalition by calling it illegal. Well, here's a roundup of some sports news now in Sports Beat. Indian shooter Kiran Chennai won a bronze medal in the men's trap event at the 7th Asian Championship Shotgun at Astana, Kazakhstan. This was his first international medal at the senior level. Kiran first shot 116 out of 125 to qualify for the 6-men final round in the 3rd spot and then held on to the position till the end of the finals. He shot a score of 30 to finish behind gold medalist Abdul Rahman Al Fayhan of Kuwait, who shot 39 for a new Asian finals record. India has so far won 2 golds and a bronze in the competition. Ravindra Jadeja moved past Bangladesh's Shakib Al Hassan to claim the top rank among all all-rounders in the latest ICC Test match rankings. Jadeja currently has 438 points among the all-rounders, while Shakib has 431 points. Cheteshwar Pujara gained a place to be 3rd among batsmen, while Virat Kohli maintained his 5th position. Wade van Niekerk retained his world 400 meters title in dominant fashion as he stormed to the victory in 43.98 seconds. South African van Niekerk ran a controlled race and was even able to ease down over the final strides as he secured the first half of what he hopes will be a 400 and 200 meter double. Well, that's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.